Hello and welcome to On Wednesdays We Wear Black with me, Sophie K and Yasmine Suman.
Hi! That was a really happy intro for today's very sad podcast.
It is a sad podcast today. So basically, this episode was inspired by one of my tattoos and a trend that I've seen going off on TikTok where people are saying you can't cry to metal. Oh, this song. And so we're going to do an episode on the songs that you cry to from within the scene. And I've even got a tattoo of a song that's probably made me cry the most, which is from Opeth.
Ooh.
And it's a tattoo that I got from their song Hours of Wealth, which even Michael Ackerfeld doesn't even talk about that song. And I think it's about the unaliving of oneself. I don't know about you, but I listen to sad music when I'm happy as well.
I listen to sad music when I'm happy. I think for me, because when I started taking antidepressants, I found it really hard to be emotional. So I used to listen to sad music to make myself cry, just so I could
Wow.
get it all out. Because I'd had a tough week, and I'm like, I can't cry. Like when I lost my dog, I was really sad and I couldn't cry. So I just used to listen to sad music and be like, tears come out now.
Wow. Any therapists listening, please get in touch. It's wewearblackpod@gmail.com.
It's okay. I've been to grief counselling. I'm all right for now.
So yeah, because I listen to it when I'm happy because it just provides a bit of calm because it's a little bit more mellow because sometimes I can get a little bit too cortisoled up. And I also listen to it when I'm sad and people go, that's so depressing. Why are you listening to sad music when you're sad? I find that it helps. I really do.
It helps me. I think some people, don't get me wrong, I think listening to sad music when you're sad sometimes isn't helpful if you're trying to like get out of a sad place, but I struggle with embracing my emotions, so listening to sad music makes me just get it all out, and then once it's out I'm like, cool. It's like dropping a big deuce, once it's out, you're fine.
Okay, so starting off with the first sad song that I had to go for. I chose this one because I feel like it doesn't get enough credit for how deep this song is, because I think that it's come to the point where it's the kind of song that everyone sings along to.
mm,
Um,
mm,
so my
yeah.
first one is Linkin Park In the End from Hybrid Theory.
Don't don't you dare. I will cry right now. I actually can't listen to this song. I love Hybrid Theory. It's probably one of my top 5 albums of all time. I went through like a phase of just listening to it in 2020. Got me through the pandemic, but in the end, I skip it because I'm like, no, no, I refuse to be that sad. Like, I can't, my heart can't take it.
It's such a powerful song, and I think people don't like people sing along to it at the top of their lungs on nights out or whatever. But when you think about the fact that he's saying, I tried so hard and I got
And
so
got so
far,
far.
but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I mean, ah, my
just
heart.
just into the heart. It's yeah, I realised the problem with making this podcast and this episode is I'm just going to be sad now. So thanks, Sophie.
It makes me happy, so we're gonna do it. I find that's a bit of a metaphor in life because I feel like in life, the older you get, the more sad you can end up becoming because you get to the dreams that you wanted to get to that you thought would fix the problems that you have, but
Mm,
even when you get there, it never fixes the problems you have,
mm,
and it's actually the
mm.
most basic, simple stuff that can help. But yeah,
Suicide Season by Bring Me the Horizon had many
yes,
bangers. One of my favourite ones, if we're speaking about sad songs, is The Sadness Will Never End. Because firstly, fucking insane collaboration with Sam Carter. Mwah. Their vocals
amazing, yeah,
at that time, like, I didn't even know it was two people on a song because they sound so similar at that time. They sound completely different now as vocalists and have come into their own. But I feel like it worked so well together because they just sounded so exasperated and fed up with life. And it was like, yes, same. But one of my favourite lyrics from it is, you can't stand on 2 feet without a substance as a crutch. And that's why I got
oof.
that poison tattoo, because it just reminds me of like drug addiction and stuff, and like it gets me in my feelings, man. It gets me in my fucking feelings. Oh,
Yeah, that's a good one. I love it when those heavier bands go heavy, like
I
super
know,
heavy.
I
It this because
know.
this you know that angry music is coming from darkness, right? And so when they actually tap into that darkness for a song, oh,
I
fire.
feel bad. I'm like, Ollie Sykes, I'm so glad that you're in such a better place. Like, honestly, I'm very proud of you. I don't know you personally, but I am proud of you. But my God, did you write some dirty, unbelievably sad bangers when you were going through some stuff?
My next one has to go to the one and only Slipknot, because I think Corey Taylor's voice has some of the biggest range of any of the voices within metal. The way he can sing a ballad with so much emotion, like songs like Bother from Stone Sour, but then also do those heavy vocals with so much aggression. Like when Corey Taylor does a feature on any track, it's like, oh,
It's
Dad's
insane.
here. Dad's here. Because he's got this guttural voice, right? But anyway, so the songs I went for,
Papa's Home.
Papa's Home. Most people go for Snuff, like when they're talking about sad songs. And that is so beautiful. One of the lines that gets me from that is, if I'm alone, I cannot hate. And that's from All Hope Is Gone. And that album, that period of time for the band was so heartbreaking. But the one that gets me personally, that I think doesn't get enough credit, is Vermilion Part 2.
Yes. Sophie, we share one brain cell. I was literally going to say that. What a fucking song. I've cried my eyes out to that song.
The part a bit where he's like, it's like he's cry singing it almost. He's singing, I won't let this build up inside of me. I feel that. That lyric like deep in my soul. And I've listened to that on repeat many a time.
I have one that like also cuts quite deep, actually. For those who don't know, and I'm quoting this from Genius.com, so if I'm incorrect, blame Genius.com. Architects address one of the greatest challenges to modern society. Cancer. Guitarist and keyboardist Tom Searle, rest in peace, told HMV, I wrote this after I found out I had melanoma, skin cancer on my leg. I had surgery to remove it, and I wrote that after I had it removed. I thought, what do people do in these situations? This is a really sad song, especially because, you know, in August 2016, Tom passed away from cancer, and like listening to it now, knowing what he went through, hearing all the pain in the lyrics, it's just so overwhelming, and really sad. And I don't know how the band still are able to perform it. I guess like after a while you're so numb to performing a song that, like, you know, it kind of like passes through you, but like it just it represents that time that the band went through and all of the suffering that they all went through, and just, yeah, it makes me really fucking sad.
That whole, like, I admire them so much because death is something that is a part of life. So many people go through it with friends and loved ones, but it's something that's not really talked about or dealt with, especially in like Western society. So like where my mum's from in Uganda, they'll lay out a coffin and people have a 2-week funeral and cry, and they, in some, like if you're really rich, they even hire professional wailers to like go and so like to create this atmosphere. And I think in many ways that's super healthy, because in Western society we often don't deal with death. And so the fact that architects talk about it as openly as they do and share as openly as they do, I think is so important to their fans and to people who have lost someone. I'm just going to make it even more sad because you've reminded me, as you said that, the song Cancer from My Chemical Romance. I can't listen to that song. I can't even think. I started playing it in my head just then and my eyes welled up. Like, that song's dangerous for me. It's too much. It's too much. And then 21 Pilots did a cover. Okay. I've got another one for you. This time it comes from 21 Pilots because we mentioned them just now. The song Goner it was on Blurry Face, but they released it beforehand and they had a video for it where they did it with a broken down accordion.
Okay.
And it was like an old, and if you ever get a chance, right, look it up. 21 Pilots Goner. And yeah, they use this antique accordion that just sounds it's like really tired. And oh man, have you heard that song?
No, I'm trying to think what my favourite 21 Pilots song is that's sad. They're all sad. They're all sad. The early stuff from 21 Pilots, Tyler Joseph was like, therapy? No. Get me in the studio.
It's the line that gets me from Goner is "Don't let me be gone."
Honestly,
Anyway,
21 Pilots have so many sad bangers.
th-
Bangers? I don't know if I can call it a sad banger. Like, I don't. It's like a lot of bands will write really sad songs, but then have such insane riffs. I'm like, I shouldn't be throwing it back, and yet
Yasmin,
I am.
I have cried every time I see 21 Pilots. I've cried about a song that I don't know what it's about, but all I know is it's about a car radio, and I feel like I know what it's about. Somebody stole my car radio, and now I have to sit in silence. And that song makes me cry every single time because
Sometimes quiet is violent. Don't get me. I was 14, 15 when that song came out. I was their target demographic. I know that like it's the Bible. Okay, you were not emo in 2014 if you didn't have a Tumblr and you weren't like, oh my god, Small Beans, Tyler and Josh. I it's embarrassing that I know all the words. Speaking of crying at
Do
every
you think
concert,
very quickly,
go on.
do you think 21 Pilots in their new release might go back to their emo roots, or do you think they've done that thing and now they're too rich and too happy?
I think they've seen everyone else do it and are like, it's really been done. I feel like at this point, if they did it, it would be more cheesy because like a lot of bands have really gone back to their emo roots. I'd like to see them continue on the path they're on because it just kind of feels flip floppy to me.